Stars are whispering tales of old, planets spinning, stories bold. Life is dancing through the night, countless worlds in the starlight. Galaxies full of mystery, infinite in their history. Beyond our dreams and our sights, life blooms in the cosmic lights, dancing on the edge of space. Take me away, feeling the universal grace. In the dark our hearts ignite, life across the endless night. Nebulas with colors bright, birth new wonders in the light. Comets trail their sparkling tears, life endures through the years. In the silence of the void, every heartbeat is enjoyed. From the depths and to the heights, life expands through cosmic night. Dancing on the edge of space, and off we go, feeling the universal grace. In the dark our hearts ignite, life across the endless night. Dancing on the edge of space, and off we go, feeling the universal grace. In the dark our hearts ignite, life across the endless night.
Hey everybody, how you doing? It's I, Mark D'Antonio. How you doing? And we also can welcome Daryl to the stream. Hello, Daryl. How you doing?
Hello, Mark. I'm well, thank you. Hello, everybody. Everybody in chat has an @ sign in front of their handle.
I don't understand why. I know why. So if you want to specifically say something to one of them, you can use the @ sign and start typing name, and it will come up intelligently, and then you can send the message to that specific person. But everybody sees the message, so it's kind of weird. Yeah. So anyway, hi everybody. Welcome. I see a lot of new faces in the group. It's nice to see you all. Okay, Semi-Auto is here, and I think, and Star Panda's here. Nice to see you. Sam's 5963. Nice to see you, brother. And there's, let's see, Jeremy is with us. Jeremy B19. Good to see you. And Kevin's with us. And so Marlena is with us as well from Southern California. That is nice. It's nice and beautiful out there. Karen Belmont's with us. Nice to see you. And Time is with us. That's probably Tim F, right? Yes, Tim F. Yeah.
Yeah. Through me too.
Yeah. Okay. And then we have Nicholas with us. Nice to see you, Nicholas. Yeah, and I think Trisha Ferrer is with us too. Yes, she is. There she is. Hi, Trisha. I thought I saw your name. Well, it's good to see you guys. You guys are here early, and you're getting to see this. This is Comet Lemmon right here on the screen. Comet Lemmon is way on near the western horizon. If you look at the telescope here, the telescope is looking. Let me show you. The telescope right here, up there, is looking right over the edge of the building. This is from the top of the building from our other security camera, other camera. You can see where the telescope is peaking. It's looking out toward the western horizon, which is where this is. And to show it to you, here is the western horizon, right, almost toward the northwest. And there is the location of this comet. It is only a few degrees above the horizon. It's about 12 degrees above the horizon. Actually 14 degrees above the horizon. All right, and it's getting lower. So we're getting to see it. And so it's a little blurry. But you know what? We're going to take a image. I got a 3-second here. We're going to do a live stack on it for 3 seconds and capture this image. All right. And that's obviously not what you want to see, but what you want to see is when we actually color correct and do some processing. So we'll do that real quick. All right, and here we go. So that's more like it. And then what I'll do is I'll take our black level and move it in to help give contrast to the stuff going on inside the comet. And I'll move this mid-level down to help reduce the noise for now. So I'll take that. Now it's not quite dark yet, so we're getting a lot of red still in our image. Okay, but there you go. So there's Comet Lemmon, and you can see this long straight line right here. And it looks bluish. That's an ion tail of the comet, it looks like. And we see some stuff over here, some stuff over here. That's the dust tail. This is probably the ion tail for Comet Lemmon. It's a very, very strong comet with an exceedingly long tail. And it's really nice that we're actually able to check it out and see it like this. So, hey, you know, not bad. So we're actually...
Pretty lucky we're catching it at all. It's so low.
I know.
And it is close to its peak height.
It is, yeah.
I saw a chart earlier, I don't remember where, of its position night by night, and it's close to, if not at its apex over the horizon right now. It's going to start dropping again.
Yeah, we would have streamed last night, but it was cloudy out at Benson. There was actually thunderstorms moving through the area.
Yeah.
And we never take the chance when there's thunderstorms moving through the area.
Those storms have moved up here in the meantime.
Okay, well, sorry to hear that. All right. So yeah, so like we were talking about, you know, the comet actually has some interesting characteristics, right? I mean, the comet, if you look, this is the nucleus of the comet right here, and this is the coma. This is that area around the comet, right? And in that area, there's a lot of carbon materials that have been outgassed from the nucleus, which has a lot of carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, okay, and other molecules within it. And then straight back is this tail, which is the ion tail, and the dust tail sort of drapes behind the orbit and kind of follows the comet around and swings around, and it's a very lethargic. And so early on with 3i Atlas, for instance, they were saying that the tail was coming out in front of it, without explaining that that was actually most likely what we call an anti-tail. And the anti-tail of a comet is a tail that is actually the dust tail, like we're seeing up here. Okay, this tail right here that we're seeing, right? But stretched out behind the comet and then seen in front of it because it's way millions of miles away from where it had been, you know, days or weeks or a week earlier. So we're seeing that curving path, and sometimes from our perspective on Earth, that long tail looks like it's in front of the comet again. And so we call that an anti-tail, you know. And the ion tail will often, look like it's out in front of the comet as well, especially when it's going away from the sun, because this tail or this tail will look very much like a spike sticking out of the front of the comet sometimes, again, because of our perspective.
In 1996, when Comet Hyakutake came through, it had the most pronounced anti-tail I've ever seen. I mean, the comet was a blue-green streak across the sky. It was huge.
Yeah.
But in the eyepiece of the telescope, I mean, there was an obvious bright anti-tail sticking out the front of it. It was really spectacular.
Hi to Kathy Messick. Kathy has made it. Nice to see you. I said hi to Nick Guerrero, I think, as well. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
We've seen anti-tails in other comets, of course.
Yeah, I'm going to clear this and see if it looks a little darker. Yeah, again, it's near the horizon. So what I'm going to do is this black level, this is the sum of our, this white curve we see here is the sum of the red, green, and blue curves. It's actually an average curve, and if we bring this near the peak, that's about as dark a black a sky as we can get with the residual light left over from daytime. And notice the color of the coma. The color of this area here, bright green. Now, the reason for that is because these are carbon compounds, and carbon compounds will emit a green color when the sun's radiation strikes them. And so we're seeing green. The blue of this ion tail is due to a lot of compounds like carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, and these molecules can be ionized. And when the electrons that come back into the atom after ionizing, they will also give off light when they do that, and that light tends to be this blue color that we'll see. Now, if I bring this over, it'll get noisier, but we'll see that straight tail right there. See that? That beautiful blue streak. That's a tight ion tail right there that we're looking at. And then all this fuzzy stuff here is the dust tail. Neato. That's cool.
This is one of those times, I know I always say this, but a wide field would have really been cool for this. This comet Lemmon, has the most amazing tail that we've seen on a comet in quite a while.
Yes.
You might have heard there's been a lot of solar activity, CMEs and solar wind and stuff, and it's really been playing hob with the tail. It's been kinking it and turning and twisting it and breaking it off, and they've gotten images of all that. If you look around on the web, you could probably find it later, of course, please.
Yeah, because if we actually, if we just bring this up now, okay, this is the live view with a 1 second photo. This right here, this is our 1 second exposure. Now, just to give you an idea of how this works, because it's kind of important that you understand what we're doing. I will show you this. Okay, this right here. All right, that's our that's not the one I want. Sorry. That is our. This is the one I want. This is our exposure. Okay, and this is the gain. These are the two most important features of all on this, and so the gain is one that's very important. All right, because that shows how sensitive we're going to make the sensor, and this shows how long we're going to expose on that sensor. Okay, and that's extremely important, because by playing off on each other, by taking each of those, what we can do is we can actually get the best quality image for the longest exposure with the lowest gain. So the higher the gain, the more the noise, and that translates to fuzzy images and grainy looking images. Okay, So this here, this is the view of the telescope out in Benson. This is the Benson telescope that we're using right now, and we're seeing this beautiful view here. All right, and then we see another one over here. All right, and these are just telescope controls. These are camera controls all in here, plus telescope controls, focusing controls. So all these locations, all these things on the screen are very, very important. So let's get rid of these. I do want to welcome our folks that have never been here before. It's really nice to see you. Okay. All right, I'm trying to figure out why it's doing this. Hang on, I'll be right back to you. 1 second, guys, not a problem. All right, there we go. All right, and I'll do that for you too, Daryl, because I think I need to.
Do what?
I need to share a screen for you. I know, you didn't notice. All right. So this is Comet Lemmon. Oops, sorry about that. Comet Lemmon is... Huh?
I noticed that.
Yeah, I know, right?
You need to share your screen now.
Well, I'm
Your dog needs glasses.
Yeah, right. Okay. So, Comet Lemmon is very low to the horizon, as we said. And, so when we look again in our planetarium view, all right, again, there's a live view. You'll see it's literally now, it's only about, 12 degrees above the horizon? 12 degrees above the horizon. And when we actually take pictures of it, all right, we have a directory out here called Comet Lemmon. And so the photo we took earlier will show up there. And where can you find it? You can go to skytourlive.org and download that photo for free. All right, and we like doing that. We want everybody to be able to see these. Let's try a 10-second exposure here. Let's see if the sky brightness has reduced enough so we can take a 10-second exposure without it looking all blown out. All right, and this will give us some more detail in the comet, and then we'll adjust it and take that photograph again, or sorry, and then save it. So here we go. Look at that. That's pretty. And then I'll color correct it as well. All right. So we still have some reds in here from sunset light, which is still not quite gone. We're borrowing an all sky out there, and the all sky camera shows this. So here is the western horizon. We still have a little light, but there's the Milky Way. It's really pretty out there. The sky is exceedingly dark out there. You can't see in front of you when you're outside. Hey, C&D's with us. And Michelle's with us. Hey, Michelle. Michelle says, follow the link over. I'm a newbie. It's really cool to see. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Make sure you join us, more permanently. Just subscribe. You can go to our YouTube channel, which you found, and subscribe to it. Click the bell to get notified when we stream. We stream on clear nights. I'm an astronomer. Daryl's an astronomer, and we talk about the objects. We show you what they are. We teach you all about them, and we're very passionate about it. And none of us get paid to do this. We are a 501c3 nonprofit. I do not take a dime. Daryl doesn't take a dime. Every donation we get from joining our Patreon, which you see up here, or buy what things you buy in our Sky Tour shop up here, or if you just donate by going to skytourlive.org, anything you give us goes simply to further getting better imagery from these observatories. This is only one of the 2 observatories we have. Soon to have 3. And we have one 220 miles away, northwest, in the Sonoran Desert. And that's west of Phoenix by about 75 miles out in the desert. And this one is down in Benson, Arizona. So we have so far 2 systems. That system out there is a wide field scope, but alas, this is so low to the horizon that the walls of the observatory prevent us from even seeing it. So we can't use that telescope to see this, unfortunately, which is sad. But it's okay. So I'm going to save this. I know that we're only getting 1 because we're not seeing a whole lot of stars in here. It's really low to the horizon. But this picture is now available, and so if we go up there on our skytourlive.org, it'll direct you to where you can download this image. Okay? And so you can actually take it down for yourself and see the tails and all that stuff. And if you're good with image processing, what you can do is you can actually make changes to it and make it look a little better for you. So you have all kinds of things that you can do, and of course I will teach you how to do that stuff as well, because that's something that we do. Now, this is not the only comet we're going to look at tonight. We have another comet as well in the sky, and that is Comet Swan. And Swan is actually got a green color very similar to this, but it doesn't seem to have a tail like this. Look at that tail structure. You can really see it now.
Yeah,
see that?
the blue in the ion tail shows up better too.
It really shows up nicely here, yeah. Might be able to enhance that too by... there we go.
Yeah. I actually see a little bit of a kink in the ion tail right now. About halfway, a little less than halfway up. A little farther down.
Okay.
Right about there.
Oh yeah, you're right. Look at that. There's something there. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Again, the tail on this comet has been so active.
Yeah.
I saw some images posted a few nights ago. The tail noticeably changed in the course of like 30 or 35 minutes.
Wow. Well, here's what I'm going to do.
You could watch a big kink move out away from the nucleus of the comet.
I'm doing a 25-second exposure right now. And we're going to see if we can see any more detail in the comet. Unfortunately, because it's so low, we're only going to get like 1 shot, and we're stacking dynamically. What's stacking? We take an image, take a second image, align it with the first, and slap it on top and make an image sandwich all the way up. That's kind of what we're doing now. And as you can see, the comet does have, let's see if we can do this, color correct. Yeah, see, the red is from the horizon light that's left over. And then this here, we're going to take this, that's the mid-level. We're going to pull that down. Okay. And let's bring that dark level up with this 25-second shot. And make it much more darker background. Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
That ion tail is really straight, and this is the dust tail. It's just like a big feather duster, and then you got this bright ion tail being. These are ions from the carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide in the coma in this area here that are being outgassed off the nucleus of the comet. Which, by the way, we don't know what it looks like. Look at the nucleus, and the solar wind is blowing these back, blowing these ions back, and they're emitting a bluish light. That's what they do. So comets have 2 tails. They have a dust tail, which we see here, and then they have an ion tail, which we see as this thing. The ion tail always points away from the source of the solar wind, which is the sun. So the ion tail will swing around the sun with the comet so that it'll always point away from the sun. And the dust tail will lag behind, and so sometimes the ion tail will be aiming one way, as you see down here in the lower left with me, and the dust tail will be aiming another. So you'll see 2 tails like separated from each other. Right now, because of the position of the comet, we see the ion tail kind of mixed in with the dust tail. So as the comet goes around the sun, that's when we would see that shift between the dust tail and the ion tail more dramatically, and that will show up as it heads away from the sun as well.
I
That's
see a dark division in the gas tail up toward the very top.
Right here?
Yes.
Yeah. That is true. And I'm going to save this image as well. And it'll be in the Comet Lemmon stack. Directory. Then we'll clear it and get this next shot that comes in right now. There we go. You'll notice the stars are not pinpoints. That's because we are not guiding on the stars right now. We are, but we're not sticking to it. We're more. It's more like we're guiding on the comet than we are on the stars. But the comet's a little bit elongated, so it's not working too well. But
I see a division in the gas tail now, running all from up near the upper left all the way down in like a dark spike, just off center of the gas tail. No, lower. On the bottom side of the gas. Yes, that dark line.
Okay,
See it
right
running
here.
all the way down?
I do. That's interesting. Let's see if we can actually show that better by doing this. A little processing. Now we actually see a little bit more detail here. That's interesting. Nice. Very nice. Judy M is with us. Hi, Judy. Rascally Rabbit's with us. Michelle says, super awesome. So I'm glad I stumbled on it. Thanks for the welcome. Oh, of course. You're more than welcome. And guess what? It's all free. Okay. We're going to start to see the edge of the building interfering. I mean, this is hands down a far better view. Look at this. We're 10 degrees above the horizon. We can still see it. So our telescope is sort of sticking up above the walls by design. And we're going to move on from this shortly and go to Comet Swan, which is over here. I forget exactly. It's probably here somewhere now. Well, actually, we can find out, because we're going to have it right here. Oops, that's the wrong one. Sorry. There's several Comet Swans. This is the one. There we go. Comet Swan's way up there. So this one's going to look really nice. When you zoom in on this, you'll see a Comet Swan. It kind of sort of looks like that, but let's see if we can see any more detail in it. All right. So we'll come out of here, and you'll notice it's not going to look like this. It's going to look much better. Okay. All right. That's something. Okay. So there's Comet Lemmon, and it was a quickie because unfortunately we don't have a lot of time to view it, but we do have a lot of time to view. Look at, there's the comet's nucleus right there. We do have a lot of time to view Comet Swan. All right, and again, those green compounds, all because of carbon-based compounds that are ionized and glowing and giving off this green light. Carbon is famous for that. It's also carbon with a nitrogen atom attached. That's a Starlink satellite. Carbon with a nitrogen atom attached is a part of the cyanogen molecule, which is cyanide, as you might imagine. Yeah, when Comet Halley came around, not the last time, but the time before that, every 76 years, there was a famous astronomer by the last name Flammarion, and he was able to inflame the public somewhat unintentionally by suggesting that there was cyanide in the tail of Comet Halley, which is not untrue. And he said if the Earth went through that tail, he was speculating whether that cyanide would cause cyanide deaths on the planet. And naturally, we didn't have Facebook back then or the internet, but we did have a public ready to make a buck. And so,
Oh yeah.
right, we had all kinds of people selling Comet pills, and we're just like nothing. There was no science behind it whatsoever.
Patent medicine.
You got it. You got it. So we're gonna go now to this comet, and let's see how well this actually works. You can see the telescope moving right there. All right, and we're gonna end up facing toward the south, which is behind us and to the left in this view. Telescope's gonna go way over there. Okay, and here it comes, coming right in. And there it is. Boom. There is the comet. And we're going to move the view down and get the comet kind of centered up. All right, and then we'll be able to take some more shots of it. Move this over a little. Here we go. Okay, so here's Comet Swift R2, it's called. Not like R2D2, but R2. And focus looks pretty good. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a photo of it right here and just see if there's any visible tail around it at this point. There wasn't the other night, but we're going to do, well, first thing we're going to do is we're going to grab, this is our guiding system, and what we're going to do is grab an image of the nearby stars with a secondary camera we're using. And that secondary camera is going to capture guide stars. There they are. And we're going to now guide on those. And you'll see a guiding graph show up here, but this is going to go away in a second. We'll see how well this one works. This may require a brighter guide star, but we'll see. Anyway, let's go and do a 25-second photo of this. And because we have multiple stars in here, we should be able to stack this without any problems. So this is what we call our low light mode. And we're going to get out of that and go into our deep sky mode, which is a live stacking mode. And so we see nothing until the sensor reads out the image that is taken in this 25-second exposure. So right now, technically, we should see it, and there it is. That's our first one. Now, that's the raw image. I'm going to process that a little bit. First thing I do is I color correct everything, and now I'll process it so you can see a little better. Here we go. And let's do this. You still got some orange in there. Okay. Yes, this the field of view is small. This is a narrow field system. So we are seeing a view that is literally, and I'll show it to you exactly. There it is there. It's literally a very small view. Okay. And it's best shown here. We come in here and we bring in our eyepiece view, right? And you see we're kind of upside down right here, but we are literally looking at a view that's literally what's called 19 or almost 20 arc minutes across. All right. For reference, the moon is 30 arc minutes across. So it's a little less than the full moon. And it's a square sensor, so it's literally effectively 20 by 20 arc minutes in size. All right, and this red is actually, like I said, it's a holdover from our sunset because I started earlier than that. So I artificially remove some of the red so make it more proper. This is correct right here. So there you see the comet's inside there. Now that dash is a time exposure. The comet in 2 minutes has moved that far. All right. Now, how do we show that? Well, if we come back here and go back to our 1 second exposure, all right, and drop out and do this, okay, we can see that right there. All right, now if I put the cursor right there and just let it sit there for a second, you'll see over time we're guiding now. So you'll see that the comet's head is going to move further and further from the cursor every second. You know, look at it. It's moving leftward and upward. And I'm not doing that. It's doing that. So what this points out is the dynamicism, the dynamics in the dynamic universe. We're actually seeing things move with our naked eye in the universe. We can see things like that with Jupiter's moons. We can watch Io pass behind Jupiter and then come out the other side. We can see satellites pass between Earth and Moon. If we're looking at the moon, the satellites show up as dark specks slowly traversing the moon's disk or face. So a lot goes on there. Now again, the image view isn't moving, but the comet is. So you can see now that the comet is now up there in that spot, and it's no longer above the pointer.
When you go back to time exposure, can you start out at maybe a shorter time period?
Sure.
Because I thought it showed some really fine details in the comet's head there before you went to a long time exposure.
Okay, we can do that. Now, you see how far away the comet is, guys? I haven't moved that cursor, and it's now literally way over here. Now I move the cursor. So it's going kind of like this, slowly. And now, per Daryl's request, let's do I did a 25-second shot. Let's do a 15-second shot. What do you think of that? That might do it.
Try 10.
Oh, 10? All right, we can try 10. A 10-second shot. All right, and we'll come out of our low light mode here and go into our stack mode, because there we'll get our good colors. There it is.
Now, I see detail in the comet. Is that artifact or real?
That's real, what we're looking at there. That's interesting.
Up in the upper left quadrant, it's like modeled some.
Up here.
9 o'clock to 12 o'clock.
Yeah, I see that. Now I see what look like two bright objects in here. I wonder if one of them's a star that we're seeing through the coma. We'll find out. Or maybe the nucleus split apart.
I see some modeling at the lower left quadrant too.
Yeah, I'm going to clear this again. And this next shot, which is coming in right now.
And I think I see the faint little ghost of a tail coming off at about 9 o'clock too.
Yeah, we had a tail coming off that way. Let's pull this down here a little bit. Let's over process just to see what might be there. Okay, and then this comes back. We're over processing right now, guys, and that red again. We still have little bits of the sunset still remaining behind. Although that's pretty.
You should be past Astro Twilight now.
Yeah, but we're still getting it. That's weird.
I wonder how much of what I was seeing is real.
Yeah, well, let's clear it and see it again. It'll be interesting to find out if Swan has broken apart. But look, that looks like it might be a star through the nucleus of the coma, right? Or the nucleus of the comet. So see that right there? That's the nucleus of the comet. And that nucleus of the comet is not where the rock is. That's way far deeper inside. And it might be a few kilometers across. We're looking at something in this image that's 100,000 miles across minimal in this area here, and this could be several 100,000 miles across, because this comet being at the distance it is, we're only going to see very, very exaggerated objects, you know. So like the giant coma, we'll see the nucleus will be exceptionally bright, and that's where the jets of material are being outgassed. And it looks like it was a star too, because it looks like the star is getting further away. So we clear again. Yeah, I'm not sure if what you saw was artifact or real. Let's wait for this next one to come in. Yeah, that's a star, see? So it was. So what that tells you is that star was over here a moment ago. So the comet's actually going this way. That's a satellite. And in 10 seconds, the satellite went this direction. Satellites go toward the east.
Usually.
Hey Genghis, how you doing? David Schmidt, what's up, brother? And Sin Vision. What struck me on my trip was the star cluster beside Cassiopeia. I had good view with binoculars. That's probably the double cluster that you were talking about, Sin Vision. That's cool. Rascally Rabbit's with us. Nice. It's a beautiful clear night out there, David said, and here you can see, let's do another. Okay, Milky Way's a little brighter. This is not our all-sky camera. Our all-sky camera would show this Milky Way much brighter than this. This is the one we just happen to be using. And look at that right there.
See the summer triangle? Is that the comet?
I don't know. It might be.
Tail pointing the wrong way?
It is. I don't think that's the comet, but it certainly looks it. It could actually be an artifact on here, because I didn't see that before.
See the summer triangle?
I do. We have Altair, we have Vega, and we have Deneb. So we have the summer triangle right here. This is Cygnus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the Northern Cross.
The Alberio, they're kind of between Vega and Altair, right there.
Yeah, right there, yep. You can kind of tell it's a double star. It looks like an elongated patch, but to this camera, you can't see them separately. And that is pretty cool looking, though. If it's not the comet, that's pretty cool. All right. Okay, so let's clear this again, and I'm going to change this name to Comet Swan, so we can actually look how far that star is now. So now you can see, guys, the dynamic universe. This star was right to the left side of this literally 6 to 8 minutes ago, and now it's in a location to the right of the comet there. So we'll save this now. And we did that. Save it exactly as seen. And we can't, if we guide on the comet itself, then we can stack as many images of the comet as we want. But I wasn't guiding on the comet. I'm guiding on the stars. Let's see if color correction is better now. And not quite. I think the green might actually be throwing it off here a bit. Interesting, because that's where it is. So that's Comet Swan. That's a nice close-up. That's the size of our field right there, that square. It's a square, perfectly square field size, and it's, like I said, 20 arc minutes by 20 arc minutes. So the moon is 30 arc minutes in size. If you had a full moon, it's 30 arc minutes across. That's a size, that's a section of a sphere. And so understand that 30 arc minutes would be the size of the moon in the sky. 20 arc minutes is the size of the field. So a little less than the size of the moon, and zoomed in with a lot of pixels that we can use here. Several thousand pixels that we're using by several thousand pixels high. Quite nice. Actually, I might be able to tell you exactly. 3008 by 3008 pixels. All right, all contained in a very small space. So that's actually a very nice resolution that it's afforded to us. There we go. I'll save this anyway because that's pretty. And we'll save exactly a scene. That's Comet Swan, folks.
Oh,
You have any
good.
questions?
Crank it up to 25 seconds.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's clear it. And let's go to 30 seconds. Why not? That might be a little long, but you never know, right? So we'll clear this now. And the progress bar is down there on the right, over here. Okay. And it's behind our Asterion Foundation. They're one of our sponsors, actually one of our only sponsors other than you guys. You guys keep us going. Really cool. Marco's with us. Hey, Marco. Fog Eyes is with us. There's a 30-second shot. Look at that. Let's see if we can color correct that. See what it does. All right, let's. Yeah, we're very close to the horizon. So I'm sorry, no, we're not. We're actually. I'm trying to get rid of this stuff here. What I could do is this. I could go down to 150 on our resolution, and let's do that. Let's start it over again and go to 150 and do 30 seconds. All right, and see what we get. It's 10:52 p.m. Eastern Time right now, and at midnight tonight, from midnight until 1 a.m., I will be on the national syndicated show Clyde Lewis on Ground Zero Radio. So if you want to hear more about 3i Atlas and details about its potential formation and what it looks like and why it looks like it does, I will be on that radio show tonight for an hour. They've asked me, we were supposed to do it last night, but they had a mess up with their computers. Not a good thing when you're syndicated. So if you want to, oh, this is pretty. Look at that. So if you'd like to join us on Clyde Lewis Ground Zero Radio, that'll be at midnight Eastern Time. What was that, Daryl?
Oh, I was going to say, I almost think I see a little tail sticking out at about 9 o'clock.
Actually, there is, and you know what?
From the nucleus.
We looked at it when we had the wide field system up the other night. I looked at it, and there is a tail sticking off to the left. Let me do this. All right, I just saved that image. Let's go back to 1 second interval here. Show it to you, and what I'll do is increase this. What I'm gonna do is move it over to the right, and by moving it over to the right, that's the other right. By moving over to the right, we'll be able to see that tail because it's sticking out right about here. And you'll see it in a minute. We'll have to do a longer exposure, but it'll show. We have just the alignment of our axes to do when I get out there. I should be out there later in November here. Probably the week before Thanksgiving I'll be out there. We might be doing a lot of work on the Sonoran telescope. We might be converting it over to another mount. And that'll be cool. Alright, let me do this.
You got a pair for that one yet?
I don't. It's on a. I don't, but I'm gonna be getting one made. Yeah, I have to. Okay, so we're guiding here successfully, and what I'll do is take a picture now. We're gonna do a 25-second photo here, and we're gonna go right into the live stack, and we're gonna get out of our low light mode. And you'll see a faint tail moving to the left. So Daryl's right, because I saw one the other night. And it's very faint, but there's no ion tail. At least there wasn't the other night. Let's see what we got now. Comets are very dynamic. They move second to second through the sky, and you can see them as you have here tonight. Now when we look at this comet, okay, let's move it up. And let's... sometimes if you can't see the details, what you do is this. You zoom out a little bit, right? And we should see a small tail going this way. And we'll stack a few more, and you can start to see something already happening here. See that? Let's over-process it for a second. All right, we gotta let it resolve a little more. In the Wickenburg scope in the Sonoran Desert, we actually could see that tail, but it's here. See it right there? It's moving on out.
I think I see its tail.
Yeah.
What I see is mostly closer to the nucleus.
Mm-hmm. It's a little different from the other night, because the other night we had a tail that was out all the way to here, at the very least, going all the way out, because we had that wider field system. And the wide field can see things that the narrow field can't sometimes. Let's try this. Let's see if we can pull this off the peak. Oh, well, now you can kind of sort of see it. And I can bring this in. This is called a push, where you bring these two, the black level and the mid level, closer together. We're going to push the processing a little bit. And now you can see it. If you look at the comet here, look at the center here, you can see this fuzziness over here. And that's actually that comet tail. Some of you are going, what the heck is he talking about? It does take some experimentation and experience to see it.
I do see it a little better now.
Yeah, it is moving that way. But that's Comet Swift now. Swan, rather. That's Comet Swan. And it's actually Swan R2. And I'm going to correct my... Well, I'm not going to correct it because I've been saving it already. But we'll save this. This is the first time we've taken Swan through this telescope. What's that?
Looks like it's approaching another star just to its left.
It is. It does look that way, huh? I think it actually already has. And I think if we clear this and come back, we're going to see that it's right there at that star. Yeah. Let me make sure we're guiding here. Okay. Let's do this. All right, and then select our star and guide on that. Okay. There we go. Now we'll clear it, and we'll find that star that was a little to the upper left is probably going to be either right above it. And we're just a 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, and boom. There it is, right above it. So there's that star. So the comet is clearly moving in this direction. We can see it doing so dynamically. What's funny is the star that we're looking at right there is light years beyond this fuzzy patch of green, which is in 3 dimensions, like much closer to us here, while the stars are way, 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 way far away. So the universe is in 3 dimensions, as we noticed. Okay, so being a 3-dimensional universe, we have to keep that in mind. All right, so we can save this one too, because I like that star there. Okay, now we'll save it exactly as seen. Now what happens is we're saving these ping files. And if you go to skythroughlive.org and you scroll down and you go to the section that says, I want cool pictures. You scroll down and you select, you read the instructions, and you go to our database and you go to the indicated directory in the instructions, and bam, you can look at all these pictures we were taking and all the data that we used to take them if you care to. So it's pretty cool. Wow. Neat. So we'll clear now and wait for it. And that star now is going to be probably just a little bit to the upper right of the comet nucleus. If you think about it, like I said, you're literally watching the dynamic universe right before your eyes. Things changing over your head. Look, there it is. It's to the right, like we mentioned.
Yeah.
Right. Hi, Kathy Pernasek. How are you? Kathy's with us. Ron Regier is with us. Hey, Ron. And Ron says, what causes the comet's tail and why does it disappear? Well, it disappears when the sun's solar winds are no longer causing the comet's surface to, erupt off volatile materials like carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide ices and water ice. Because as those sublimate and leave the comet's surface, they are exposing and freeing particles of dust that are also attached to the comet. And so when it does that, we see the dust tail. And what we're seeing here is lots of carbon compounds that are emitting a green light. And we're also seeing lots of dust in here that is just causing a lot of this obscuration that we're seeing. The nucleus is hidden in dust in the middle here. We can't see it, and then the carbon compounds are causing it to light up green. So it's pretty neat. So the tail is caused by the solar wind interacting with the comet's nucleus. And what is the comet's nucleus? Well, the comet's nucleus is going to be mostly ices, and comets are among the oldest things in the universe, and they are formed when the star systems form. And so to that end, the comets out in our Oort cloud, that are the cloud of comets effectively around our solar system, are all in the range of about 4 billion, 4.5 billion years old. And so they are ancient. And when we look at them, we learn a lot about the ancient universe and what was in it. All right. So you can see that if we see that there's lots of carbon dioxide ices, you can see that there's molecules that were around here, over 4 billion years ago. And that's true. Many of those molecules are the building blocks of life as well. And that's something that comets have delivered to this planet. Comets like this one have hit our planet in the past. They delivered some water. They delivered hydrocarbons, complex hydrocarbons, things called tholins, Tholins, and other compounds, carbon compounds to our planet that ended up serving as part of the mix of life-making material, the slurry that was our ancient planet's surface composition, came from a lot of impacts by comets and by asteroids. On top of that, our planet made a lot of these amino acids itself that it needed for life. Amino acids figure prominently in DNA. We call those nucleotides, right? And those nucleotides can be manufactured by the Earth itself. That's cytosine, adenine, guanine, and thymine, the 4 basic amino acids in DNA, right? And then in the various combinations, they make you different from a frog. Okay, some people are closer to frogs than not, but you know. So that said, when we look at these complex chemistry of these comets, we have to remember that our planet in its early infancy was struck by many of them. There were many more comets in our inner solar system back then than there are now. So only do we worry about an occasional strike from a comet now. But in the past, it was much more commonplace, and it shaped our early chemical soup from which life sprang.
I see the tail. It's
Right
faint
there.
still, but it's obvious to me, and it's actually sticking over to the left quite a ways.
Right here, this guy.
I see tail about as far out as that second bright star to the lower left of the nucleus.
This guy or this one?
The next one over,
This one.
the other way. The other way.
There's
That
no
one
comet
right.
tail. Here, you have a comet tail on the right.
No, no. To the
I don't
lower
think so.
left of the nucleus of the comet, there's 1 star, 2 stars, go again, and then the next bright star. Right there. I see tail sticking out a little farther than it.
Oh, I see down here.
No,
Because I see this.
it's at about 9 o'clock,
Okay.
but I see it past that second bright star.
Okay. I don't disagree. I do see it as well. I see it out to about here, it seems.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah. I think you're right. Cool. Well, we'll save this. It's actually... it's the same image, but we're going to save it anyway. All right, cool. Well, now... so that's Comet Swan. So we got to see Lemmon and we got to see Swan. And I think that, and by the way, just to let you know, I'm going to go to about 11:45, and then I'm going to take a 15-minute break and then go on Clyde Lewis's Ground Zero show at midnight. So we'll do this for a few more minutes, I guess. There's Swan. Looks really pretty. So comets are interlopers in our skies, and again, among the oldest objects ever in the universe that we know of in our nearby solar system. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Oldest objects in the solar system, at any rate.
Yeah, that's what you said in our solar system. There's things out there a lot older, like the cosmic microwave background. Okay. Now, I know it's low, but let's see if we can actually check this out one last time. This is a nebula. There goes the telescope. It's a nebula that is fairly low in the sky right now. Here it is. And it's called the Lagoon Nebula. The Lagoon Nebula is a stellar nursery, which is really something to see. I'm gonna do this right now. Get our stars and actually do some guiding. So we'll let the guiding stabilize on that star, and then we can come in here now and let's do a 25-second photo of this. It looks more like the Trifid to me.
Me too.
So maybe that's a Trifid nebula. Interesting. Did I hit a Trifid instead? I did. Okay, good. That's actually even better. Yeah, this one's even better. I like this one better. Yeah, this is a Trifid. That's more beautiful. Okay. All right. That's an even better one. It's to the upper right, and it sports a beautiful red nebula with dark dust between us and the nebula behind it, creating what look like spokes of a wheel, but they're not really a wheel. It's just three. And then all around the nebula is a blue nebula of reflected light. Look at that. Now, again, we are right close to the horizon, so the fact that we're getting a reasonably good view of this at all is pretty outstanding. You'll see the difference when we go look at a higher object in the sky. Okay.
I see 4 lobes in the Trifid.
Yeah, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Almost like we've got one doing this, and one doing this, and one kind of crossing that. That's what you're talking about?
Well, I was referring to the light lobes, not the dark lanes.
Oh,
but
okay.
yes, still there's 4 of them.
Yeah. So I'm gonna move this down.
Imagine petals to a flower.
Mm-hmm.
I see 4 petals in the flower.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. You're viewing the negative space. I'm viewing the positive space. Same thing. That's cool. All right, so now what we're doing here is we're taking a photograph of this nebula. This is neat because this is probably going to be next to the last time we can actually take photos of this guy, because it's going to be setting obviously very soon, and it's actually right now in what we call the the muck near the horizon. If you watch my pull out here, okay, it's only about 11 degrees above the horizon. Okay, and so that is very, very shallow. In astronomy, we typically don't look at things below 40 degrees if we're doing research, but when we're doing it here, we'll look, anywhere down to 10 degrees because we're just showcasing some cool stuff. You'll notice we have 6 exposures now, and it doesn't look as grainy. It actually starts to look rather nice. And let me pull that down. Okay, let's get rid of that and watch the full view here for a while. It's a little soft looking because, again, we're looking through more air across the curvature of the Earth. And this is coming from several thousand light years away. Interesting to think that the light hitting your eyes right this second is light that left there thousands of years ago to get here. And the exact number of light year distance of this is 5,200 light years away, approximately. So this light is 5,000 years old. It was traveling across the universe for all that time to end its existence on your retinas. I think that's pretty cool.
Well, it's ending on the camera sensor, which is then showing it to you.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, it's just a cool thought. So when it's higher in the sky, this blue would be seen to go all the way around this, but it's not visible now. But then again, we only have captured 10 frames. If we overprocess it you can kind of start to get a hint of the blue coming around the side here. But again, near the horizon, we don't get to see it as startling as it is when it's higher in up the atmosphere. All right, so I'll just make it a little brighter. Look at that. Well, there it is, the Trifid Nebula. It's called Trifid for split. I mean, it's called a Trifid because in general they talk about 3 lobes because it looks like a Trifid, but there's really more than that.
And it's a totally different critter than a Trifid.
That's right. Yeah. Remember Triffids?
Oh yeah.
Night of the Triffids or Day of the Triffids.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
Scared the willies out of me when I was a little kid.
Me too. And I never understood how they killed anybody. Because they didn't walk. They were plants-like. So I couldn't understand how Triffids would kill.
They were fast. I frankly don't remember that much of the movie, but I still remember those darn things. I think they were filming them backwards. You know, they looked like they were shooting out towards somebody, and it's probably some guy behind a curtain pulling a rope and tugging it away instead. Then they just, ran it in reverse, so it looks like they were shooting out and grabbing people.
I don't remember them grabbing anybody. Wow. So what do you think, guys? There it is. This, by the way, this is called an emission nebula. There's a lot of hydrogen in the universe. It's the #1 most common element in the universe. And it has 1 proton, 1 electron. If you hit it with ultraviolet radiation, like, I don't know, say from a hot star like these 2 in here, then you can cause that electron to absorb a lot of energy and bounce off the atom for a period of time. And when it comes back into the atom, as it cascades down in different discrete energy levels in an atom, one of those energy levels is one that gives off red light, and that's the predominant, it's called the transition, it's the predominant transition of that electron in hydrogen. So we call this hydrogen alpha, or the predominant transition, all right? And there's hydrogen beta, hydrogen gamma, hydrogen delta, there's other, lines, but alpha is the predominant one we see, so a lot of the colors in the universe are red, like you see here. Additionally, we have this blue. This blue is almost a teal. It's sort of it's more of a regular blue than a teal, I meant to say. And let me just do a color correction. Okay. See, with the color correction, that now looks more blue. And this is actually not an emission like this is. This is actually a scattering or reflection. And what happens is, in the universe also is lots of this dark stuff. This is dust up in the foreground, blocking the more full nebula behind it. Okay? And so these dark dust lanes and dust overall is all throughout the galactic disk, which is where we are right now, where we're looking in the universe, okay, in our view. And this galactic disk has dust, and when you hit when starlight of most any kind strikes this little tiny set of dust grains, these are tiny dust grains, a micron in size, right? The dust grains absorb all the light and reflect the green light back, scatter it, it's called, in all directions. So that process ends up showing us a dust cloud via this blue light, right? And if the starlight is not bright enough, well, then you don't get a dust cloud being illuminated by a star. Sort of down here and down here, we don't see that, but there is dust everywhere. Our sky is blue for the same reason. It's called Rayleigh scattering, the selective scattering of high frequency light or blue light by dust or molecules in our atmosphere, as we know. Okay, so that's what's going on here. Now, this has been a successful image. We've stacked 21 images.
I have a question before you go.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Get rid of that thing.
Yeah, well, let me just save it. Exactly seen. Okay. Here we are.
Okay. The 2 bright stars near the center of the nebula.
Right there.
down at about 6 o'clock, there is what looks like a pillar, just like we've seen in the Pillars of Creation in the Eagle Nebula and many other nebulas. Right to the right of it, you see that one dark lane that you were talking about, but it looks like it's cut in two. You see
Right
the
here.
dark nebula. Yes, you see dark nebula above that red cloud that the pillar's part of,
Yep.
and then discontinuity, and then you see it start again down below it. Is that saying that the red cloud, the pillar and associated cloud there, is that in front of that dark lane? Kind of
I would
looks like
venture
it.
to say, I would venture to say that that's correct. I'd say that this knot of nebula here is in front of this dark dust.
Yeah.
So we're seeing this dark dust obscuring a nebula behind it, and then we're seeing this part of the nebula obscuring some of the dark dust behind it, because you can see a hint of it right here. It looks like it's showing through this hydrogen. It might be within it. It might be a mixture. And we see a lot of this in the Orion Nebula. When the Orion comes up, I'll show you that specifically in the Orion Nebula. You can actually see through the blue nebula, you can see the red nebula, and you can also see how it's behind it. You can see how it's actually obscuring, and how the dust is obscuring some of the nebula, but then you have nebula in front of the dust. It's really cool.
Well, that really gives it a three-dimensionality there.
It does. This is like an arc that's sticking out way up front here, and then you have this dust behind it, and then you have this nebula way further. So this part right here is probably way up here, the nebula is probably way back here, and the dust is like here. It's sort of a triple step process there.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Michael Hedrick, how are you? Nice to see you. So look, we're right near the horizon, and for it to come out as good as it is pretty good. But I'd like to take one more snapshot of it and then save it for you to get at. Let's do that. I'm gonna do this. All right, this one is what I wanted. Okay. And then we're going to do this right here. Let me move this out of the way, and we'll annotate it. Okay, so we're going to actually give it the labels. There we go. So we're going to say Trifid Nebula, and that's going to right there. Okay. So that's a Trifid Nebula. Okay, right there. All right. And so we're going to save that annotation just like you see it, like that. And then we will move on to the next object. Save image with annotations. There we go. So now what you get, you can go out, when you go out to the directory, you're going to see this. All right, because that's now saved. So that's going all the way up to the space and down to our server. Okay, and will be available. This observatory is isolated out in the Benson Plateau. There's 9 other professional astronomers on the mountain with me there, and they're doing their own thing. So there's 10 buildings up there with telescopes sticking out doing all these things all night long. It's really cool. And you could be up there and all of a sudden you hear bzz, 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 and you look around and all these telescopes are moving around. It's really neat. If you ever get out there, Daryl, you're welcome to go up.
If when the Greeks count time by Kalends.
Well, Ronald is there now. He's not at the observatory, but he lives in Benson now.
Yeah.
Ronald's one of our longtime benefactors. Okay, guys, so there it is. That is the images we're going to stack for now in this. I'm glad we got a chance to look at this one more time. I accidentally clicked the wrong object, but it turned out to be the better object to click. So this image is up there for you to look at. All right, so we're going to go back to our single second low light mode, and now we'll come back here. So we saw 2 comets, the Trifid Nebula, And I wonder if we get up to 30 degrees, we can actually show them the Scutum star cloud. That might look nice. And the wild duck cluster. This square is our field of view. I think that might be pretty cool. Alright, let's try that. We're going to go up there. And I'm going to turn off our guiding because it's not there. Okay, this is a cluster of stars called the wild duck cluster. And the wild duck cluster is a cluster of stars, and I forget how far away it is. Let's see. The wild duck cluster is 6,000, almost 6,200 light years away. Okay, so that's a really pretty cluster of stars. And if to show it to you, I'm going to do a 25-second exposure, even though stars don't require that long. But I want to show you the area around it, and you'll see it's not it's not a wide field system, but you'll actually see this a little better. You'll see that there's a lot more stars in here than just those cluster stars, and that's what makes it really exciting region of space. Oops, I guess I should have started guiding. I didn't start guiding, my mistake. So now I will start guiding, and we got lots of stars to guide on, so we're gonna pick one and go to town, and now our images will come out better. This next one might be screwed up, but we'll see. Yeah, we gotta do one more. Okay, so we're gonna over here, we're gonna redock our thing here, and we're gonna clear this, and then you'll see the wild duck cluster, and then you'll notice all around it are all these other stars. Not that you didn't just see that, right? So, oh well. But if you guys like what you're seeing here, this is the kind of thing we do when it's clear out. Look at that beautiful cluster. Wow. Right, so you know, the rest of the field of view is here. I can show you that like this. You can see the whole field of view there. And look at all the stars around here. This is part of the Scutum star cloud. It's a star cloud. This cluster is 6,000 light years away, and these stars are much farther away behind it. All right, and that's really a very interesting location in the universe to see. Okay, we've stacked two now, so we've done an image sandwich of two images. We're going to stack a few more, and then we'll move on, because I want to show you a couple more things before I have to leave at 11:45 Eastern time, which is about 18 minutes. We'll have time.
Can you show them Scutum and Stellarium?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Scutum is a constellation. It's above Sagittarius. There's, you see Scutum star cloud. Scutum is a Roman shield. They show it as round. The classic Scutum was, if you've ever seen Roman war movies or anything, they carried those big long shields that looked like a section off of a cylinder. They were kind of curved and then rectangular up and down. That's what a Scutum is.
Yeah,
I say,
like you said, is
well, that's, you know, I mentioned this before. That's Stellarium taking liberties.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, that's the shield right there, folks.
Yeah. And
Sometimes I say
find.
Sometimes I say Scutum, sometimes Scutum. I believe it's Scutum, strictly speaking.
I had a friend who used to call it Scutum. And every time he said it, I'd laugh. I said, Joe, it's Scutum. And he said, oh, okay, let's go look at Scutum. No, okay, back to Scutum. Just say Scutum. Yeah, these names are silly sometimes. JSCO, how you doing? Nice to see you. Donald Kunzer, good to see you. Luke Pavenci, how are you?
You can see the Milky Way there in the background on the right. It follows the line of the Milky Way up from Sagittarius down to the south.
Yeah, and if we continue north, we go up through Sagitta, the Arrow, and keep on going into the Cygnus Milky Way, and keep on going, and we end up going down into Cassiopeia and Cepheus, and we end up keep on going, and when it goes down further through Cassiopeia here, we end up coming into the winter constellations, Perseus, Auriga, and then further on down we'll have some elements of Orion as well. And our solar system is in a location in the galaxy called the Orion Spur. Now, there's more research going on with that, but it looks like that's going to stick around for a while, that we're in the Orion Spur. All right, so let's bring this back here. So here, looking at our image here, you can see now that we have a beautiful nebula. A beautiful cluster. It's known as the Wild Duck, or it's known as Messier 11. All right, it's got a couple of different designations. It's also known as NGC 6705 for New General Catalog. All right, and we tend to know it as Messier 11. All right, and that is going to be our target name. All right, and we'll save it at the annotation, and that's saved up there under that directory. And then we can save this and save it exactly as seen. Looky. All right. So that's this object sitting up there in the Milky Way. And now let's go back to our low light mode and head to another object. I'm trying to fit in another object before I've got to go.
About the helix.
Yes, that's a very good idea. I'm glad you mentioned that. The Helix Nebula is right here. And the helix is absolutely perfectly placed. A helix is the remnant of a star that has died. And you're going to watch the telescope is going to spin around. Okay, right about here it comes. It's coming into the view. There we go. All right, so now the helix up here, I actually recognize those stars, is going to be right nearby. I gotta figure out if it knows it. I know it knows it, but yeah, okay. Let's take this offline for a moment. All right, and what we gotta do now is grab a star to assist us here. Actually, let's go here to the jellyfish cluster for a second, and we just will this will help us to line up stuff, make sure we know where it is. Okay, so it was in the upper left. That's what I needed to know. All right, so we can move it down. Okay, and now I'm going to do this. I'm going to solve for it, and there it is, jellyfish cluster, Messier 30. We're going to center it in the view. All right, so now it's centered, and we're going to all right, now I'm going to grab the helix again.
Jellyfish looks interesting all by itself.
Yeah, let me
It's a globular cluster. It's Messier 30. I wonder
Yes, it
if the
is.
jellyfish's legs are those lined stars we can
Oh,
see.
maybe. Maybe. Well, we'll image that another night. I don't have time to do that right now, but maybe
Well,
I can.
that's fine.
Okay, let me grab the helix again. There it is. And I'm going to plate solve and resync. And it knows where it is. So now the helix is going to be centered directly in our view. Okay, that didn't do it. That's weird. Why is that? Wait a minute, let me get in here. Okay, let's try and go there. Yeah, I know that I sort of see it there. I'm not sure. I'm going to just do a quick 10-second shot. And I won't stack. I want to just see if this is right, if this is where it is. It might be at the upper left, but I'm not sure. Oh, there we go. So it is there. It's just got to be moved down a little bit. That, I should have recognized the blue star, but it wasn't very obvious. Okay, so we're going to go here. That blue star is a white dwarf. This is the remnant of a star that has died, and it expels its outer envelope. It's a star kind of like the sun, and what they do is they expel their outer envelope, and that outer envelope will be ionized by the hot star inside that still remains. It's actually a white dwarf, so it's the hot remnant of a star. It's no longer doing fusion like a star, and that's what this is. So let's start guiding on this. Okay, that's probably going to grab that star. Yep, good. All right. And now let's do a 30-second shot. Okay. And then we'll come in and have a stack going. This is interesting when you look at it. It's going to really showcase what a planetary nebula, or a nebula that could be mistaken for a planet in a telescope, would look like, and does look like. And it's not really a planet. Okay, it's, what's that, a breeze come through? Okay, not quite. All right, but the first one's going to come in now. Let's actually color correct and then do a processing. Get rid of this guy, we don't need it. And boom, there we go. Look at that. So this is the Helix Nebula, and it looks rough right now because of the fact that we've only got one exposure, but we are working on the second one, and the second exposure is going to cut the noise in half. Okay. All right. Let's come back here. We're getting a little bit of a breeze out there, which is causing the telescope to blow around, and so the guiding isn't holding all the time. You can see the massive deviations, but it's not ruining our image at all so far. That blue color means it's very, very hot. Everything else around it, you notice, is in blue. This is the hottest star in this entire field. How could I possibly know that? By its color. Blue is the hottest color in the universe. The bluer it is, the hotter it is. So this is really, really hot, and it's a white dwarf. These are just regular stars, some in the foreground, some behind possibly. But this object, most of them are behind it probably. This object is only about 600 light years away from us or so. It's the closest planetary to us, which is why it's the largest that we see. And this planetary nebula, they tend to span about 2 light years across, because that's about how far they can spread before the white dwarf can no longer ionize the gas that was expelled from the star. All right, so when it fades away out in the beyond in the outer reaches here, that's when we know that it's reached past its ionization radius. So let's do this.
Star is so hot. The white dwarf
is.
star is so hot that it's actually putting out a lot of ultraviolet light, which is what's energizing the nebula.
That's right. That is correct. Donald Kunzer says, "Dude, you started out early and caught me off guard. And keep up the work. Keep up the good work. That's funny." Yeah. Hey, Bobby, Master Player, Barbie Burgess. How you doing, brother? Hey, you saw the comets. We took Comet Lemmon and Comet Swan earlier tonight. Yeah. Hein Sherry's with us. Hi, Hein. How are you? Yeah, so you notice a detail in here. As this starts to resolve a little better, as we get more pieces, you're going to notice that there are these radial streaks going toward the center. They have an official name. They're called cometary knots, but they have nothing to do with comets. They kind of look like comets because they have a knot of material and then it fades away with a trail of material behind it. And that's pretty interesting. It might be areas of dense material that are being eroded by the high energy from this stellar remnant. Jane Murdoch is with us. Hi, Jane. Jane's been here. Jane, do you remember the red rock you let us use to do our Mars party out in the front? I'm sure she does. We gave you back that rock. Yep. Yeah, Jane's good people. Okay, so down below here you can see there's more out here and more out here. And up here it kind of goes off the frame. So this would literally have to be a mosaic to capture all of it, because this is the size of our frame. Here we got just a couple more minutes. Let's do this. Let's drop that out of the way and go full screen here. So for you first timers that are just here, this is Sky Tour live stream. I hope you enjoy it and I hope you come back over and over. Subscribe, it's all free. If you want to donate, you can at skytourlive.org, or by supporting us at our Patreon up here, you can do that too. Or you can get some really cool Christmas presents on our Etsy store. You want a clock that has the moon on it? There you go. And these are all photos we've taken. This is not canned crap. These are all pictures we've taken and processed to a high degree. So it's all really cool stuff. So help us out if you can, because we try very hard to deliver the best astronomy for the world over. Look at these radial streaks. You can see them now. Look at that. Wow. Those are pretty obvious. These cometary knots. You see them? Let's see if we can tease out a little more detail. Pull these over. Okay. Pull this in. Notice we have a double peak here. This peak is the oxygen, ionized oxygen, which is that teal green. And this peak corresponds to the hydrogen with a little bit of the oxygen in it. So when hydrogen ionizes, we get this red. When oxygen ionizes, well, usually it's 2 electrons on the oxygen atom, which you'll get hit off by the, bounced off by the ultraviolet light from this white dwarf, energizing them. And when it comes back, we get this teal green, teal blue light. That is characteristic. So the universe glows teal blue, red, and basically blue, like the Reflection Nebula with the Trifid Nebula. Those are effectively the colors of the universe, because that's predominantly the ionization levels that we see. There's other colors, don't get me wrong, but the predominant ones go to the elements that are most abundant in the universe. Hydrogen is number one. Okay, that's my alarm for going on at midnight. Okay, so that hydrogen is the highest abundance, and oxygen is the third most abundant element in the universe. And carbon is the fourth most abundant. Ta-da! You're made of carbon. That's right. Really neat.
Say good night, Mark.
I have to. Folks, I'm going to leave this running, and I'll take this picture, and it will be up on skytourlive.org. If you want to hear more about 3i Atlas, join me over on Ground Zero Radio. Look up Ground Zero Radio and listen live, and you'll hear Clyde Lewis, a good friend, good guy. It's a beautiful syndicated show, and I'll see you over there in just a little while. So hopefully I'll catch up over there with all of you. And to that end, I hope you had a good time tonight. I wanted to start a stream for you to hang out with you a little bit and do this, so hopefully you enjoyed it. It was a good time. Daryl, I had fun. Did you have fun?
Sure.
I'm glad. What energy. All right. All right, folks.
Had fun.
I know. I'm kidding.
Have a good night,
It's all
everybody.
fun. See you guys. We'll talk to you on the other side, and we'll stream again really soon. So see you later, folks.
World Series is tomorrow night. I won't be here.
No problem.
Stars so bright in the sky, on Arizona nights they fly. Nebulae in colors rare, galaxies beyond compare. Sky tour in the night so clear, brings the universe near. Real-time wonders to see, streaming live for you and me. Lift your eyes to the skies, universe in all its light. Sky tours bringing the views. Every night feels brand new. In the dark, the night unfolds, stories of the cosmos told. Through the lens, a distant dream, living real like a gleam. Far away, up so high, across the stars beyond the skull. Through the lens, a distant dream, living real like a gleam. Lift your eye up so high, across the stars beyond the sky. Sky tour shows us the way, every night a new display. Lift your eyes to the skies, universe in all its light. Sky tours bringing the views. Every night feels brand new. Lift your eyes to the skies, universe in all its light. Sky tours bringing